All men are the same and it drives me crazy. Me and my boyfriend James have been dating for around 3 years. He's usually an incredible boyfriend. The other night I dressed up to join my friends at a party hosted by our mutual friend whom we recently befriended. When James saw my outfit, which was a skirt a little above my knees and one of those backless crop tops, he told me that I can't wear that because I'm taken and I should dress like it. We got into a fight that ended with him yelling, "Don't you dare come to me crying like a witch when you get assaulted. You'll deserve it." And he slammed the door when I walked out. The party was great and a few guys did approach me, but I rejected them with no problems and overall had lots of fun and an amazing time. A lot of people complimented my outfit and said that I looked sexy, which made me a little sad inside at the end because I wanted to hear that from James, my boyfriend. But maybe he was just temporarily jealous. Maybe all it was just a phase, and once he understands that I will continue to dress however I want, he'll accept it? Edit. For those saying that I crave male attention, first of all, I wore that outfit because I wanted to feel sexy and good for myself. Secondly, most or actually majority of the people who complimented me were women and gay men. Just because I choose to wear revealing outfits doesn't mean I'm doing it for male attention. Not everything that we women do revolves around men. Also, I'd like to add, James has shown similar bouts of jealousy over the years, but they've all been temporary in the sense that they would fade away. He has never called me a witch before, though, and never said anything even close as cruel as what he said that night. I am contemplating on breaking up with him, but it's really hard for me because 3 years is a lot. I feel like I need to add another edit. I've dressed up in sexy outfits for years, including when my boyfriend met me. It was one of the things that attracted him to me. What I find funny, based on the comments saying that I shouldn't dress like a slut and I should respect my boyfriend. If a woman told her boyfriend or husband that he should stop wearing his hair a certain way or stop wearing attractive clothing that will make him look hot to other women, she would be controlling, no? Shouldn't a good partner trust their partner to be faithful? My boyfriend has been wearing whatever he wants, which includes working out half naked at the gym and also wearing revealing clothes for a man while revealing comments from other women. And have I ever once told him, "You know what? You must stop being half naked and put on a wool sweater because I find it disrespectful"? No. Okay, another thing I need to clarify. The mutual friend was mutual to me and my friend group, not to me and my boyfriend. I should have made that clear. Okay, hopefully this will be my last edit. A man has every right to want a partner who dresses classy. However, he can choose a partner who already dresses in classy clothing all the time, such as Ralph Lauren and Banana Republic, but I'm pretty sure that even that type of woman will still wear a sexy backless Versace dress from time to time. What a man shouldn't do is get a woman and force her to change the way she dresses. What do they say? A man will pursue a beautiful woman and put her in a cage. And while I'm writing this, I'm coming to the realization that maybe I shouldn't spend more time with a man who can't accept me for who I am and the way I dress, even if I already spent 3 years of my life with him. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Any man who says you'll deserve to be assaulted when dressed like that to a woman is scum. You are worth more. Time to move on. Comment 2. Honey, PLS, get out of that relationship. That is not acceptable behavior from a partner. That is not temporary jealousy. That is pure malice and hatred towards you for not doing as he says. And this will manifest in worse ways in the future. Plus, sit there and think of how much you would have to hate someone to say that if they got assaulted, don't come crying because they deserved it. How much hatred does that take? Get out of there. Comment 3. You got caught up in the sink cost fallacy. Just because you spend a lot of time with someone doesn't mean that it will eventually pay off. Sometimes people are a waste of time, and sadly you have wasted your time here. We all have wasted time on relationships that held no meaning. It's not about giving up, it's about wanting better and realizing you don't want to be dead before you get the better you deserve. Now for the update. And if you're enjoying the video, hit that like button. Hi guys. I posted about 3 days ago about this. It's on my profile if anyone wants to check it out. We went out to a public place in broad daylight and I had 2 of my friends come with me and stay at a distance in case of anything. I told James that I wanted to break up with him because I was not going to be told what I can and what I can't wear, and he didn't really take it well. He replied that all he asked was for me to respect him as a man. I told him, I have no problem with you working out half naked at the gyms and dressing up when you go to parties and events without me with your friends. And he said, well, that's different. I'm a man and you're a woman. That's how it works. I just said firmly that I didn't want to see him anymore, and he became enraged and started yelling obscenities at me, called me a b-teach, a wur, etc. Even banged the table and said that he hopes I'll know what it feels like to be actually forced to do what a man wants, and that he hopes it will hurt. My friends came up to us when he started yelling, and one of them, Nick, was a longtime male friend, and he was the one who suggested we be there when I broke up with James. He's 6'4" and 258 pounds of muscle, so I felt pretty confident in my safety. He told James that he better get away from me while he can still walk, and I think James was still able to realize that there was no way he could fight my friend, so he just shot me a dead look and left. This was a day ago, and I still haven't heard from him, but Nick still wants me to file for a restraining order, and I don't really see the point, because if he really would want to hurt me, would a piece of paper really stop him? Maybe I watched too much of Enough with Jennifer Lopez, but having a restraining order won't really make me feel any more safe. Nick offered to have me stay at his place so he could be my bodyguard, LOL, and that's where I'm staying for now. And also, let me add, my feelings for Nick have always been strictly platonic and vice versa. He's like the big brother that I never had. And James and I would sometimes go to parties and events together, and sometimes I would go alone with my friends and James would go alone with his friends. For those saying that Nick is just trying to FCK or he'll make a move, not all men look at any woman as sexual things and are only friends with a woman with the hopes to be more than friends. Nick and I are completely platonic and we're more like brother and sister. It might be just a movie, but our friendship is very much like what the Black Widow and Hawkeye had. So please stop commenting, he's just trying to fuck. Some men can care about a woman without being sexually or romantically attracted to her or expecting to hit. Another edit. I might actually file for a restraining order tomorrow, but I've seen some people comment that it might make things only worse because it can make James mad, or that they won't approve the restraining order because there's not enough evidence and motive, but maybe giving it a try won't hurt. Comment 1. The restraining order is about creating a paper trail for you against James, so it isn't a he said, she said type of situation. If he escalates behaviors, then something hopefully can be done. Comment 2. I agree with Nick. It may just be a piece of paper, but it's still a paper trail to show what you're going through if your ex decides to take this further. The audacity he had to say what he said to you is absurd. And then to hope that something actually happens to you? Nah. Screw that noise. Congratulations on leaving that piece of garbage. Comment 3. The restraining order doesn't stop anything. It sets up a paper trail in case of further incidents. James may or may not escalate, but honestly, he sounds like the type who might. I'd recommend sticking to well-lit public places for a while. Now, for the next story. When I was 18, I gave my virginity up to a friend I trusted because I was coming out of a history of abusive relationships and wanted to experience sex on my own terms. I also didn't want to hit 19 without having sex. My friend and I were close for years before agreeing to do this. It had no strings attached. We went in with the mentality of do it once and go back to normal. We had feelings for each other and had always considered it, but never acted on it. We had sex once and he never spoke to me again, blocked me everywhere. It made me lose a lot of trust in people, and I was very afraid of being used for years. Cut to recently, my BF and I have been dating for a year and we've had a few problems, but nothing we haven't been able to work through. I knew he had a questionable history as well, being beyond highly promiscuous in college. Additionally, I knew he had cheated a time or two in the past on his exes. All of this was workable, as it was months before I met him, and he had been cheated on, giving him what I thought was perspective and reason to change. We haven't had such problems, however. Recently things have been rough, to the point where I had to look through his phone with him sitting beside me. There I found a less workable piece of his past. Towards the end of his first year college whore phase, he had started talking to a 17-year-old. He was 19. Not that big of a gap, but contextually significant. IDK if he was just desperate or what, but he knew this girl worshipped the ground beneath his feet, and so he led her on, told her how special she was. First date, he took her virginity, then he ghosted her. She called and texted him for weeks asking why he was doing this, why he used her, what she did wrong. Feelings I was familiar with. In all the texts, he gave no signs of being uninterested. This was a few months before we met. His best friend had mentioned her previously, referring to her as the obsessive ex, but I don't think he knows the full story. I won't tell him, but I don't know how to handle this information. He did to this girl exactly what was done to me, and then ruined her reputation after the fact. On top of that, he knows that happened to me. How do I go about processing this? I think he's changed since then, but it doesn't erase that it happened. Edit. A lot of PPL are getting confused, but I was not the one to initiate the idea with my friend. He suggested that he be the one to take my virginity, so it would be someone I know and trusted. I didn't coerce or use him. I didn't talk him into anything. We had also clearly stated that we would continue to be friends after this. When I say he used me, there wasn't a gray area in my mind about it. It wasn't an innocent suggestion or lack of communication. He brought it up and suggested it, and I was stupid enough to believe he'd have integrity about it. Edit 2. Some people are suggesting this isn't considered trauma, but I'd like to make it clear up here that my ex, right before the incident with my friend, had used drugs and alcohol to try to coerce me into having sex under the influence. I caught him trying to put my anxiety medication in my drink. I felt used and violated by him, only to have the incident with my friend only a few months later. Additionally, I'd just like to make it clear that I'm by no way slut-shaming my BF for his past. I knew from the first date how many sexual partners he's had, and that was the past is in the past situation for me. This is not. Now, for a few comments before the update. Wait, he did that only a few months before you met him and also got cheated on in between doing that and meeting you. Sounds like he has never been truly single, and I highly doubt he has changed. Has he even apologized to her or shown you he feels remorseful about it? Then the original poster responded with, I asked him if he felt remorse, and all he said was that he told her he was sorry. I explained that it didn't answer my question, and he said he didn't want to talk about it. Comment 2. He's showing his true colors, and the fact that when asked if he felt sorry, he answered, I told her I'm sorry, means he doesn't truly feel remorse. And him not wanting to talk about it either. Here's your answer. People can change, but rarely do. And even rarer is within the few months that you met. Comment 3. You don't go through major character changes in just a few months without some kind of significant intervention. What makes you think he's changed so much in such a short amount of time? Now, for the update. I talked to him last night and laid out how everything made me feel, from how what he did deeply disturbed me and reminded him how it tied back to a lot of what I went through. All he could say was that he made his peace with the girl, and that it's his past and I need to stay out of it. He said he really did like her, said he didn't even want to do it, but that she kept asking him to do what he caved. They were together for 2 weeks, and this happened on their first date. He knew it was her virginity, and he knew the age gap could account for this behavior. He said she was needy after he took her virginity, and the distance was enough to where those 2 factors made him not want to see her again, so he gave up and ghosted her. I asked if he maybe thought her neediness had something to do with him, telling her she was the one, as well as being the guy to take her virginity, and he said it didn't justify her behavior in his head. I asked him if he felt remorse for it, and he refused to give me a straight answer. I asked him again, and he said that he knows I was hurt, but that his peace was with her and that he owes me nothing here. I explained I wasn't looking for an apology. I just needed this one basic sign that he had changed. That one sentence would differentiate himself from the guy from my past, as well as show growth in himself from his past. He told me I was crossing lines and should back the frick out, called me unreasonable, ridiculous, and told me he thought better of me. So I told him I'm not going to force him, if this one question is enough to be a crossed boundary for him, and that if this is an unreasonable ask, then I believe we should see other people. He immediately began begging me to change my mind, alternating back and forth between yelling at me and calling me names and apologizing and saying he was sorry. He told me I was crazy and embarrassing myself. I've blocked him. Update 2. In the time since I posted this, I've had to block him on 2 alt socials, but I also would like to take a moment to say I got some minor satisfaction from this. He ruined this girl's reputation by bashing her to his friends, calling her obsessive and crazy. None of his friends knew he took her V card and ghosted her. Apparently, it had gone so far beyond that. Not only did he call her names, but at one point she had been depressed and texted him asking him to help her. She said she was suicidal and felt worthless and just needed him to acknowledge her. He sent this screenshot around and laughed at her. The only reason I've just found all this out is because his best friend just texted me asking what was going on and called me messy, but I laid it out to him. He informed me that he genuinely thought this girl was just unstable and joined in laughing at her when my now ex first ditched her. He thinks it's beyond fricked up what he did, and when I explained its relation to me, he said he's unhappy I'm leaving but that he doesn't blame me. This friend has also had experiences in the past with being used and said he needed to talk to my ex. I'm leaving that to him. I just feel like it's come full circle. I've ghosted him and I think I might have ruined his name. I'm hurt, but I think I've gotten a little satisfaction. Comment 1. Quite incredible how karma comes around, right? He did that girl dirty, so in turn he paid the consequences later when he thought he was at peace with it. Poetic, really. I feel bad for the next girl, though, because he's going to be a lot more secretive about his past going forward. Comment 2. That's more like a nuclear missile dodge. Then the original poster responded with, I'm a little afraid now. I'm glad I got to give my story to his friend First BC. I'm pretty sure if I hadn't, all our mutual friends would be hearing about how I'm next level psycho or something. Comment 3. Honestly, my first reaction to any man telling me a woman is crazy or psycho is to wonder what they did to her to encourage her to behave that way. Female 99% the time it's that they treated someone who cared for them so badly and played so many mind games that they made them that way. The few times a person has legit behavior issues, they tend to say, my ex had some issues with their mental health, and not call them names. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.